Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, it's theCUBE. Covering AWS reInvent 2016. Brought to you by AWS and its ecosystem partners. Now here's your host, Stu Miniman.
And we're back here at AWS reInvent 2016. SiliconANGLE Media's theCUBE program. We're the worldwide leader in live enterprise tech coverage. Happy to welcome back to the program two of our CUBE alums from InfoObjects. I've got the CEO, Rishi Yadav, President and CEO, and Sudhir Jangir, who's the Chief Technology Officer. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. How's things going?
Yeah, great to be back on CUBE.
All right, we talk about, this the culmination of so many things going on here. Developers are here, so many different technologies are here. Data is here. Rishi, I guess let's start with you. How's public cloud, changing your business, impact, your fit into kind of the whole AWS story?
Yeah, so public cloud started with the startups, and as it's becoming more mainstream, what we see is a convergence of big data, open source, and analytics into public cloud. So everything is becoming public cloud. Now public cloud, especially the AWS part, became famous for the infrastructure as a service, the IaaS piece, and then it became the PaaS piece, and now this is even from the PaaS, it's moving to the functions as a service and backend as a service. So this is kind of interesting that the whole big data movement, which was about analytics, is definitely converging into the public cloud. But the old school web applications, even they are becoming the great candidates for function as a service. So you are going to see this great convergence here where when everything, all the applications which are written in the pre-cloud era, they are all going to explode and disintegrate, and they are going to be re-architected to be public cloud native.
Yeah. Sudhir, I want to bring you into the discussion here. Can you help, map out a little bit for us how, we talk kind of the open source stuff and the public cloud. Most of the open source things, a lot of it started with kind of web scale architectures. So we understand how that fits in some way. But how do you see those coming together, and how do you look at those kind of technology building blocks?
So, for example, a lot of new services are being, introduced in AWS also, we were in the keynote, right? So now you have, for example, Lambda functions are available, right? So a lot of these, websites or portals which are being developed, P-Cloud thing, were based on, your monolithic kind of application. Now, you have, for example, API gateway in front, then, Lambda on back. And then, for a store, you can use a lot of, NoSQL databases, right? So this new architecture is coming up nowadays, right?
Yeah, such huge interest in all the serverless technology.
Yeah.
Serverless is the term that they use it functions as a service, or FAS, kind of fits in.
And now, because of these elastic nature of things, for example, in deep learning or machine learning, you'll need, GPU instances or those things. Now, that is also part of AWS offering, right? So you can have elastic GPUs, right?
So for customers to truly take advantage of everything that's coming out, does that have to happen in the public cloud now? Can data centers that the enterprise have do some of these things, or is it kind of a foregone conclusion that to really do some of these, I need the breadth of services that Amazon and others are offering?
I think it will be a hybrid approach, right, Rishi? So
at least for the time being, it's going to be a hybrid, but. I think more and more workload are going to shift to the public cloud. So I don't think that data centers are going to be the first place where data will be stored or processed. Yes, there will be some legacy data centers. I look at hybrid in a way that there are going to be some servers which are going to be at the, say, company headquarters, and those places from where they have to connect, because developers are still, they're not going to sit at AWS, right? So developers are going to sit in their offices. So that is the kind of connectivity which is going to remain there. And in fact, that's where we are going to announce our product around exactly the same thing today.
Yeah, what are you talking? What are you talking to customers about? Kind of the new piece that you've got here at the show.
Yeah, so what we see with the customers is that number one is a cloud first approach, right? So I mean, every customer we are dealing with, they already have decided that which public cloud they are going to go to, and what's going to happen down the line is that rather than putting all the eggs in one basket, they are going to go for you call it multi-cloud approach. I call it a dual cloud approach. Most of the companies are going to have just two clouds, right? And maybe they are AWS and Azure. I mean, yeah, maybe Google Cloud. And what's going to happen is now to move loads between these two clouds, companies need the agility. And that's where the product which we are thrilled to announce, the name of the product is PCO, that is a public cloud orchestrator. And our product sits on desktop, so which is slightly different in the cloud space. So what we are doing is that we are providing a desktop product in which you can do all the orchestration, all the simulation on your desktop before moving your load to the cloud in a secure way, right? So you can, for example, if you have a machine learning load, right? So all the simulation of the load, all parameter optimization, all the hyperparameter optimization, all that you can do on your desktop. And then at the runtime you choose, maybe it's better to run that load on AWS or maybe on Azure at a given point of time, right? Maybe the spot instances on AWS are cheaper at this hour. So.
And we'll be providing with like some kind of local simulation also there. For example, you are at like say following that dual cloud approach, right? You can like say simulate like say your configuration on Azure as well as on AWS or Google Cloud. Yep. So, and after simulation, I think next target is local testing, where we can simulate the testing, what exactly is going to happen on cloud when you move these things to the cloud.
So Sudhir, I wonder if you can unpack for us a little bit. There's been some discussion about data movement, where my data lives, and also like data locality. How important is that? What do you hear from customers? You talked about and how do things like multi-cloud fit into all of those?
Regarding data movement.
Yeah, well, data movement, and does data locality matter?
Mm-hmm. Data residency.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, I think the data residency piece is, I think that's the basically multi-region approach is what already, data residency, which for example, on the on-prem is a big deal, right? I mean, in case of the public cloud, I mean, multi-region just takes care of it, right? So.
Multi-region or like say availability zones are there, right? So, you can use those things.
So, yeah, I get that's part of it, right? Is does the public cloud offer enough of it? Are there service providers that are going to need to fill in the gaps there? It sounds like you're saying, like especially Amazon with kind of their coverage, that's sufficient today.
Yeah, it's covered.
Okay, anything out of the announcements this week that kind of caught your interest or something there, kind of your customers or your product line where you think things should be going?
For example, like say new services around chatbots, for example, Lex and Poly, they were announced, right? And we are doing a lot of work in chatbot space. We are creating a lot of chatbots for a lot of organizations for their, for example, providing chat supports to their, say, end users, right? So I think those having those around will help. They're definitely going to help us, right?
AI is definitely a really interesting use case. Rishi, what are you hearing from customers? Conversations you're having here at the show, and what are some of the main concerns you hear from kind of the C-suite?
So for our customers, as you know, that our focus has been on Spark primarily, and that is going to remain our focus. A lot of when Spark-based workloads are moving to AWS, there is a lot of optimization work which needs to be done. So this is what we are consistently hearing from last 2 days, right? So every customer is saying that we can definitely use more help in making Spark faster, right? Making it lower latency, scaling it up. So that's what we consistently see here.
Okay. Sudhir, I'm curious, IoT, going to be a huge influx of data. Is that something impacts what you guys are looking at?
So in IoT space, we are doing a lot of work right now. And that is being done on, like say, for example, for one of our customers, like a lot of data is coming from these sensors, right? And we are using some kind of a Spark streaming on top of that. Then we are doing some kind of analytics or real-time processing to further process the data, right? Now Kinesis is there, right? So you can use these kind of services also to do the similar kind of right?
Rishi, can you give me some commentary on what it's like to be an Amazon partner, kind of the ecosystem here? How's that dynamic work for a company like yours?
You mean the AWS partnership?
Yeah, being a partner with Amazon.
No, Amazon, I mean, I've written a lot about it. I mean, Amazon is a company which did not have a lot of customer focus. When I'm using the word customer, I mean the enterprise focus. Yeah. They've learned it really, really fast. I mean, yesterday I had a meeting with the partnership folks at Amazon. It's amazing. I mean, they are very good at, they are very much intent on developing a great partner ecosystem. They value partners a lot, and which is really exciting news for all companies like us, right? That Amazon wants to go to the customers and prospects along with us and help them with their migration to the public cloud. So now it's been great. I mean, it's just been few months we have been Amazon partner, but it's been a great journey so far.
Sudhir, I want to get your thoughts on something. There's some people that look at, Amazon's going to announce 1,000 new features. They've got APIs all over the place for everything, and APIs are good, of course. But is it easy to work with? Just this influx of things. When you look at kind of your technology roadmap, is the pace of innovation, and all the APIs?
There are thousands of services, but like say companies like us, consulting space, right? So we are there to help on those parts, right? So obviously, like say, because of thousands of services around there, you need to understand the complete API structure and everything, and it becomes quite complex. So, and companies like us, like say, they can really help the customers moving forward, right?
Rishi, I want to give you the final word, kind of key takeaways, things you want to take away as we, look to leave AWS 2016.
Yeah, so just to add to Sudhir's points, right, tools and solutions, right? So Amazon is providing more and more tools for customers, but the customers need solutions, and that's where we fill in the gap, right? Using Amazon's tools, and I'm very bullish on all the PaaS and the FaaS and the BaaS offerings which Amazon has, basically functions and the microservices, the API gateway and all, right? And that's where we are there. We see immense opportunity to help guide the clients in their redeploying their applications on cloud and getting the most value out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to leave it there. Cloud enabling all the services that you talked about. Thank InfoObjects for joining us again. Look forward to seeing you at some of our coverage as we go into 2017. We'll be back with lots more coverage here of AWS reInvent 2016 in Las Vegas. You're watching theCUBE.